every single thing that comes at you gets the same treatment. Kick it away hard immediately and move on to the next thing flying at your head. I watched a clip recently that explains something I've been trying to put into words for probably a good 3 years now. It was Brene Brown talking about soccer, which is very timely. We're now in the middle of the World Cup. So specifically about 5-year-olds playing soccer, which not so much relatable to the World Cup, but hang in here with me. By the end of the clip, I was just sitting there thinking, that is exactly it. That puts into words this thing that I've seen. That's the whole thing. That's the difference between a founder and a CEO. Explain in about 90 seconds using children's sports. So today I want to talk it through it. The metaphor, what it actually means for you, and why the skill is describing is probably the exact thing missing from how you're running your business right now. Not the effort or the work ethics, a very specific, learnable skill that nobody ever taught you. Because nobody teaches founders this. They just throw you into the game and assume you'll figure it out by getting hit in the face a few times. Here's what she described. 5-year-olds playing soccer. The ball comes in hard and fast at head height. And what a 5-year-old does every single time is put their foot straight up in the air at head height and try to kick it as hard as they possibly can. There's no thought behind it. There's no strategy. The ball comes at you. You kick away as hard as and fast as you can because the goal in a 5-year-old brain is just to get it away from me. And what happens to the ball? It gets off the pitch, into the field next door. Nobody's chasing it out for a play. Nobody's building anything. The ball is just gone. And now somebody has to go retrieve it and the game stops. Now watch what happens as players get more experience. If you're watching the World Cup right now, you see things change a little bit from that. Ball comes in fast, same speed, same height. Instead of kicking it away, they take it into their chest, they let it drop, they put the foot on top of it to maintain possession. Because here's the part that matters. That entire game is about possession, not about reacting to the ball. It's about controlling. And they look down the field. And this is the part I want you to really sit with. Because this is the part that separates good players from everyone else. You're not looking at where the striker is standing right now. You're looking at where the striker is going to be. And they kick the ball there, not to the current position, to the future one. That sequence, settle the ball, take a breath, look ahead, pass where things are going instead of where they are. That is the entire skill set that most CEOs and C-suite leaders are missing right now. Brene said it most exactly like that. When I heard it, I thought about every single founder I work with because I've never heard someone describe the operator to CEO gap more precisely than that. So let's talk about you for a second. And if you're listening to this, there is a real chance that you are still playing 5-year-old soccer in your business. Not because you're bad at this, or not because you lack the skill set in general, because for years, the kick it away as hard as you possibly can instinct is what kept your business alive. Something came in fast. A client problem, a team issue, an email that needed an answer 5 minutes ago, a fire that needed to put out right away. And your instinct was to kick it hard, immediately, away from you. And it worked. The fire went away, the client calmed down, the email got answered, and you survived the moment. But here's what nobody tells you. Surviving that moment and running the business are not the same skill. Kicking the ball away at head height is a panic response. It's very reactive. It's fast and it feels productive because something happened and now it's handled. But notice what's missing from that sequence. There's no possession. There's no looking down the field. There's no thinking about where things are going. There's just react, kick, repeat. And if you do that enough times for long enough, you build an entire business that runs on your panic response. Every single thing that comes at you gets the same treatment. Kick it away hard immediately and move on to the next thing flying at your head. And when you're doing that, you're not leading. You are playing defense against an endless series of balls coming at you, and you never get a single moment to settle one, breathe, and actually look at the field. That is not a discipline problem, guys. I want you to understand that. That's not a time management issue either. That is a missing skill. And that skill is settling the ball. All right, let me get specific because I don't want this to stay at a nice metaphor that you nod along to and then go right back into kicking everything ahead high tomorrow morning. So settling the ball in your business looks like this. Something comes up, a decision or a problem, a request, a quote unquote fire. And instead of immediately reacting, you bring it into your chest first. You let it drop. And that means you pause, even for 30 seconds or a minute, and you actually look at what is in front of you before you respond to it. Then you put your foot on it. You establish that possession. This is the part that most founders skip entirely because it doesn't feel like action. It feels like nothing is happening. And we don't like when it feels like that. But possession means that you are now in control of the situation instead of the situation controlling you. You're not reacting anymore. You're holding it in, deciding what actually needs to happen with it. Then and only then, you look down the field, not at the immediate problem in front of you, past it, where this client relationship actually is headed if you keep saying yes to this. Where is my team actually headed if I keep being the one who answers every question? Where is this business actually going if every single day looks like today? And then you pass the ball to where things are going, not to where they currently are. You make the decision, you set the boundary, you build the system. Hire the person, whatever it is, based on where you're trying to end up, not based on putting out the fire in front of you as fast as possible. I just worked with somebody recently and we were trying to build the description for new positions. She was very focused on how things are happening now, how the business is working now. And I kept trying to draw her attention to the fact that we are planning for the future business, for where she's trying to go. Where does the transformation look like? What does that new business look like? And that should be the business that we are trying to hire for today. That sequence, settle, possesses, look ahead, play forward. That's the entire skill set of operational leadership. And almost nobody comes into business already knowing how to do it because almost nobody's taught to do that. You learn the founder skills first, the hustle, the react fast, the handle everything, the be available at all times. And those skills get you here, but they are not going to get you to be a true CEO. CEO requires a second skill set entirely. And it has to be learned on purpose because your nervous system will not develop it by accident under pressure. Pressure makes you kick hard, not settle the ball. Have you tried using AI in your coaching business and thought, okay, this is helpful, but why does it still sound so generic? That is exactly why I created Claude for coaches. Because the problem usually isn't that AI doesn't work. The problem is that most coaches are using it without training it on their voice, their offer, their clients, their standards, and the way the business actually runs. So I'm hosting a free live workshop where I'm going to show you the difference between using Claude with random prompts and actually training it to support the back end of your coaching business. We'll look at what generic output looks like versus what happens when Claude understands your business, your content, your clients, and the way you think. If you want AI to help you create beautiful content, client resources, offer ideas, sales copy, and more, without everything sounding bland or off-brand, this is a workshop I would start with. Register at the link below, and I'll see you on July 29th. Here's the part that catches a lot of founders off guard. You'd think that as your business grows and you have more support, more team, more systems, the kick at head height instinct will naturally fade. And it doesn't. If anything, it gets more dangerous because now you have more balls coming at you faster from more directions, and your old instinct is still the one running the show. More revenue means more decisions for you. If your team grows, means that there's more questions routed to you. More visibility means more opportunities flying in your head that all look very urgent. And if you're still operating in that 5-year-old setting, kicking everything as hard as you can, as fast as possible, you don't get less overwhelmed as you scale. You get more overwhelmed, just with better optics from the outside. Successful looking chaos instead of obvious struggle is the same chaos. This is why so many founders hit a point where the business looks like it's working from the outside and it feels like it's barely holding together in the inside. That's that duct tape feeling. The skill gap didn't show up when the business was small enough that reacting fast could cover for it. It shows up later, when there's enough coming at you that pure reaction time runs out. And at that point, the only way through it is the thing that nobody wants to hear, which is that you have to actually learn the second skill set. Settling the ball is not something you stumble into by working harder or carrying more. It's a different muscle and it has to be built on purpose. All right, I want to clear up one thing because I think this metaphor gets misread if you're not careful with it. Settling the ball does not mean slow. It doesn't mean passive. It doesn't mean sitting back and thinking for a week before you respond to anything. Good players settle the ball in under a second. The pause is real, but it's not too long and is not indecisive. It is very controlled. The goal isn't to remove the urgency in your business. I don't want you to do that. Some things actually are urgent and needed a fast response. The goal is to remove that panic from your default setting. Panic and urgency are not the same thing. Even though they feel identical in your body at the moment, urgency says that this matters and it needs attention very soon. And panic says, kick it away from me as hard as I can right now so I don't have to feel this anymore. One of those is a leadership response. The other one is a 5-year-old's nervous system running your multi-6-figure business. The work is learning to tell the difference in real time, fast enough that it actually changes what you do next. So if you're listening to this and recognizing yourself in the kick at the head high description, here's a place to start. Not a 5-step framework, just one thing to practice. Next time something comes at you fast, a message, a request, a problem, before you respond, I want you to physically pause for 10 seconds. Not think about your whole business philosophy, just 10 seconds. Bring it into your chest and then let it drop. In that pause, ask yourself one question. Is this actually urgent? Or does it just feel urgent because it showed up suddenly? That's it. That single question starts building the muscle because most of what we kick away at head height isn't actually urgent. It just arrived without warning. And arrival speed is not the same as importance. Those are very different things. So do that for a week, just a pause and ask that one question. It won't fix the whole pattern in 7 days, but you'll start noticing how often your reaction speed has nothing to do with how time sensitive the thing actually is. And that noticing is where the second skill set starts to get built. Here's what I want you to leave with. You're not failing at this because you don't work hard enough. You already proved that the first set of skills work because it's the reason you have a business today at all. So kicking the ball away as hard and as fast as you can got you here. That instinct is not your enemy. It's just incomplete right now. The next stage isn't about kicking harder. It's about learning to settle the ball. Take the breath. Look down at the field and where things are actually going, not just what's flying at your head right now. And that's the skill that turns a founder into a CEO. And is available at you the same way it's available to any player at any level. You build it on purpose, one pause moment at a time, and let's see where things go. All right, I hope this gave you some things to think about, some things to practice in your journey to become the true CEO of your business, and I will see you next week. Bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Accidental CEO podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us in the world where creativity and business strategy collide. I'm Nata Salvatore, thrilled to have shared this time with you. Remember, every episode is a step closer to mastering the art of being an accidental CEO. So don't miss out. Hit subscribe, drop us a sweet review, and spread the word to your creative tribe. Your next big breakthrough could be just one episode away. Join us next time for more insights, laughs, and actionable tips. Keep pushing boundaries, dreaming big, and embracing the beautiful chaos of entrepreneurship. Here's to make magic happen in your business and beyond.